Hell or High Water, a movie directed by David Mackenzie, a Scotsman taking his stab at a modern-day Western film. It stars Chris Pine, Ben Foster, and Jeff Bridges. Pretty good combo if you ask me. And really centers around cops and robbers. Ben Foster and Chris Pine are brothers that are just robbing banks. That's kind of the baseline of it, and Jeff Bridges is the guy that's has to go hunt them down. Now, it's called a Western, and it really is a Western. From the very beginning of this movie, it kind of does this one-track shot that just kind of gives you an idea of the surrounding area, and it is desolate. Businesses are closed, houses are abandoned, people just seem generally poor. There just doesn't seem to be any kind of activity existing within that town. And it feels like you'd imagine a Western to feel like. In fact, there is a scene in this movie after the two brothers rob a bank where they're actually chased out of town by local people in the town, just chasing them out, shooting off guns. And I thought to myself, if these were just horses, this is literally exactly what a Western would look like. But it just does it in a modern sense of the word. It is also one of these movies after 2008. We kind of got a slew of movies that really focused on the housing crisis and what it looked like when people started losing their houses and when everybody just kind of turned on the banks. The banks just robbed everybody. This is the center core of this movie. It's a Western movie built around the housing crisis of 2008. Now, I know you might be thinking, well, that doesn't sound very interesting. It doesn't sound like a movie I'd be fascinated in, but it really does work. Even just as a Western, if you don't care anything about foreclosures and all of that stuff, as long as you understand a basic idea of that, you would kind of understand the common thread that goes throughout this film from start to finish. And it was kind of a clever look at it. I liked that feel. I liked the feel of cops and robbers mixed in with, are the robbers the bad guys? Are the banks the bad guys? Who's really the one ripping off somebody in this? And that's kind of the back and forth as you kind of go throughout the movie, trying to determine, well, who do I need to root for? Who do I need to root against? And that's always great. But outside of that, I also have to point out the acting in this movie. You really have to tip your hat to, no pun intended, you have to tip your hat to Chris Pine. This is a guy that can do a Star Trek film. He can do a big budget film, probably make lots of money off of it, but he can also do these smaller, low budget films like Hell or High Water, and he seems to like to go back to these movies from time to time. This isn't his first time kind of dabbling in these low budget films that don't get a ton of attention. They don't get that blockbuster money. And he acts the crap out of this movie. He just has this swagger to him and this almost level of confidence that just fits the whole robber persona without coming off as just evil. They give him a purpose for being there, maybe an overused purpose, but they give him a purpose for being there, and he just looks like a salt of the earth type of guy. The way he slouches in a chair, the way he talks, the way his just demeanor is just kind of slouched over, and it is outstanding. He really does act the crap out of it, and obviously Jeff Bridges is amazing, and Ben Foster, the guy just needs to do Westerns for the rest of his life. He is my favorite character in 3:10 to Yuma, the modern day 3:10 to Yuma. If you haven't seen that, please go see that. Ben Foster is the best part of that movie. Check that out. It's well worth it. But he just needs to keep doing these Western films because there's something about Ben Foster's personality, especially when he's kind of playing a little bit more on the evil side of things. He's outstanding. I think he gets overlooked, and he does a really good job in this film too. So overall, it's a great movie. It's getting some Oscar buzz right now, and you can see why. It's a little bit of something unique. There aren't a lot of Westerns being made these days, and especially in a modern day setting. The conclusion to the movie just feels pretty satisfying, even though it doesn't wrap up in a nice, neat little bow. It's satisfying enough. So yeah, I completely recommend the movie. If you're kind of looking for something to watch on a date night or something like that, I know I watched it with my wife, who would not normally like a movie like this, and we both really liked it. We both thought it was a very good movie. So highly recommend. Go check it out, Hell or High Water. And until next time, see ya.